The financial collaboration between China and the Gulf states is not merely a series of economic transactions but a profound and systematic transformation of the global financial landscape. This deepening relationship, particularly with key partners like the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, represents a deliberate and multi-pronged strategic effort by both sides to reshape the global financial order. Welcome viewers to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, like my video and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next update. For China, the goal is to systematically boost the international standing of the Chinese yuan and secure its long-term energy supplies. For the Gulf states, it's a strategic pivot to diversify their financial relationships, reduce their long-standing dependence on a single currency, and build a more resilient, multipolar economic future. This powerful convergence of interests is a tectonic shift, one that is reshaping global finance in real time and creating a new world order. This burgeoning partnership is built on a foundation of shared strategic objectives, each side pursuing its own long-term interests that, for now, are perfectly aligned. For Beijing, the internationalization of the yuan is a central tenet of its national strategy, a grand design pursued with exceptional patience and discipline, particularly under President Xi Jinping's ambitious leadership. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, China's massive global infrastructure and investment project spanning continents, explicitly prioritizes financial connectivity. This includes forging cross-border payment agreements and promoting the greater use of the yuan in international transactions. This is not just about streamlining trade, it is about building a comprehensive financial ecosystem where the yuan is no longer a secondary currency but a primary one for settlement, investment, and reserve holdings. It is a long game, a slow but steady chipping away at the foundation of the existing global system. A critical, and perhaps the most important, driver for China is its energy security. As the world's largest energy importer, China's reliance on a US dollar-denominated oil market exposes it to significant geopolitical and financial risks. This reliance creates a vulnerability, a potential choke point that could be exploited by rivals. By encouraging major oil producers like Saudi Arabia to accept yuan for crude oil sales, China can create a more resilient supply chain that is far less vulnerable to potential US sanctions or geopolitical leverage. This is part of a broader, decade-long effort, which saw the yuan's historic inclusion in the International Monetary Fund's Special Drawing Rights (SDR) basket in 2016, a major milestone in its quest for global recognition and a clear signal of its increasing financial heft. This inclusion gave the yuan an official stamp of approval from a leading global financial institution, legitimizing its international aspirations and serving as a key inflection point in its journey towards global prominence. On the other side of this collaboration, the Gulf states are proactively seeking to diversify their economies and reduce their reliance on the US dollar and its associated political framework. The UAE, and specifically the Dubai International Financial Center, DIFC, has strategically positioned itself as a global financial hub, a nexus connecting the East and West. It has attracted massive investment from Asia, particularly China, and has become a vital bridge for financial flows. This move is a clear recognition that the future of economic power is shifting eastward. For its part, Saudi Arabia is aggressively pursuing its Vision 2030, a groundbreaking and ambitious plan to fundamentally transform its economy and move beyond its historical dependence on oil revenues. Financial cooperation with China aligns perfectly with these goals, providing new avenues for trade, investment, and financial innovation that are separate from the established Western-centric system. These agreements also offer a crucial geopolitical hedge, allowing Gulf states to signal a multipolar foreign policy and avoid putting all their economic and political eggs in one basket, a crucial move in an increasingly fragmented and shifting geopolitical landscape. This strategic diversification is not a rejection of the West but a pragmatic embrace of a multipolar future. The mechanisms of financial integration, building the foundation of a new system. This deepening financial relationship is being built through a combination of robust financial tools and institutional mechanisms. Currency swap agreements are at the very core of this strategy. These deals, such as the renewed US $4.89 billion agreement between China and the UAE and the new US $6.98 billion pact with Saudi Arabia, are more than simple financial transactions. They are a profound statement of trust and a practical way to bypass the US dollar. They provide a vital liquidity buffer, enabling direct currency exchanges between central banks without needing to rely on the US dollar as an intermediary. This not only significantly reduces transaction costs and exchange rate risks but also fosters greater trust and financial stability between the partners. This is not an isolated effort. China also has a similar agreement in place with Qatar, demonstrating a regional-wide strategy to integrate its currency into the Gulf's financial system and solidify its position as a key partner. Hand in hand with currency swaps or cross-border trade settlement arrangements, China has now signed such agreements with all 6 members of the Gulf Cooperation Council (GCC). This framework allows for a significant and deliberate shift. Companies can now invoice and settle trade deals directly in yuan, building a growing pool of local currency liquidity that bypasses traditional payment channels. A landmark moment occurred in March 2023 when China and the UAE completed their first liquefied natural gas purchase in yuan, a powerful and symbolic demonstration of the practical application of these agreements and a clear sign of things to come. To facilitate this, China launched the Yuan Cross-Border Interbank Payment System (CIPS) in 2015, a dedicated network for yuan settlements that provides a direct, efficient, and increasingly popular alternative to the US-dominated SWIFT system. By early 2023, CIPS had impressively grown to boast 1,366 participants from 109 countries and regions, showcasing its growing global reach and influence and providing a tangible alternative to the existing financial architecture. The network's expansion is not just about technology, it's about building an independent financial infrastructure to support the yuan's rise. The push for financial integration also extends to the future of money itself. The collaboration between the People's Bank of China and the Central Bank of the UAE on digital currency development is a forward-looking step that could fundamentally redefine cross-border payments. This partnership leverages both nations' shared interest in financial technology and could one day enable faster, more secure, and less expensive cross-border payments through a digital yuan (ECNY), effectively bypassing the traditional banking system entirely and offering an entirely new payment channel. This is not just an incremental improvement, it is a disruptive technology that could fundamentally alter global financial flows and reduce the friction and cost associated with international trade. The dawn of the petro-yuan and the shifting global order. While the US dollar's dominance in the global petroleum market is not in immediate jeopardy, these incremental developments are setting the stage for a gradual, long-term shift towards a petro-yuan system. The current petrodollar arrangement requires nations to purchase oil in US dollars, which are then recycled into US assets, such as treasury bonds. This system has supported US economic and geopolitical power for decades, ensuring a constant global demand for its currency. A petro-yuan system would function differently and create a new financial dynamic. China would buy oil from Saudi Arabia in yuan, and the Saudis could then use those yuan to purchase Chinese goods, invest in Chinese assets, or use them for transactions within the CIPS network. This would create a self-sustaining circular flow of currency that strengthens the yuan's international standing and provides a viable, long-term alternative to the dollar. It would, in effect, create a rival financial bloc. This strategic reorientation is already showing tangible results, providing concrete evidence of the shift. The balance sheets of Chinese banks in the DIFC have more than doubled since mid-2014, and by 2018, they accounted for nearly a quarter of the center's total assets, demonstrating a rapid expansion of their financial footprint. Additionally, Saudi Arabian companies have begun to list on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, a clear move to access new capital markets, and both the UAE and Saudi Arabia are set to officially join the China and Russia-led BRICS group in 2024. These moves are a clear and powerful indication of their increasing alignment with a new, multipolar geopolitical and financial order, one that is less dependent on a single global superpower and more reflective of the changing balance of economic